Although it is said of yoga that it means which means union with God. In a practical sense, it has to do with the prevention of the breakdown of our life, because yoga really can't fix anything. It transcends what has already happened to the field of bliss so that we can accept what has happened. But it also gives us the intelligence and the motivation and creativity to prevent that problem from happening again if we have to do something to avoid it, something other than merely shifting our consciousness when we transcend our problems. And so um, the Flying Sutra, I'm finding, pertains to divesting ourselves of the collective consciousness that we have absorbed from our environment. If what we have absorbed is, say, against our nature, it's quite useful, in as much as if it's lower in consciousness than our nature, because usually the statistical probability of a yogi having consciousness less than the collective consciousness of the people around him is very slim to none. It's usually higher, and that makes it hazardous to live among people, and that's why a lot of yogis have traditionally retired to the forests to hide from people and the shitty karma that surrounds them, because karma and consciousness are not exactly the same, but they're kind of equivalent. They're analogs of each other. I find it difficult to sleep at night because I have come out of the closet, so to speak, with my activism back around 1990-ish, and it has provoked so much anger and hostility and jealousy among people that when they go to sleep at night, they project their astral hatred and whatnot, or fear, as the case may be, to me, because the teacher always takes on the burden of the student in more ways than one. Whatever the student feels for the studies, that impacts the consciousness of the teacher. So, for better or for worse, being a leader or a teacher takes on an extra burden, and it's stressful, and it disturbs my sleep. um, so last night I found that doing the Flying Sutra, I didn't get complete divestiture of the consciousness of the people I was sleeping among, because I have to now sleep in a different environment away from Poway. So I'm sleeping among snooty people who don't give a damn about anyone else except themselves, because they have the money to afford to be able to do that, or to act that way, think that way. And it really created a fog. Not only is it foggy in Rancho Bernardo in the physical sense, but it's foggy in the mental sense too. Oh my God, I was like, I was like, didn't know what, weird. So the Flying Sutra did help somewhat. And since I had to do it the night before the Julian earthquake, and I discovered how effective it is, hey, why not? The technique, although it took me a while, was effective of divesting me of the insanity that was going through my head, because I was cognizing the energy in its preclude condition of becoming released the following day, not knowing where my insanity was coming from. It didn't matter. I just wanted to get rid of it. And the TM mantra didn't help. But the Flying Sutra immediately showed some promise, and so I just kept at it until I was completely divested of that insanity, and I had peace of mind. And the next day I had the luxury at laughing at the earth shaking. Oh, I'm rocking the car. Well, I wasn't, and I couldn't repeat it, but I was in a position to laugh at it, to mock it. I was in a position of mockery because I could afford to. So it's a different kind of wealth. Just like wealthy people can afford to mock everybody else, Likewise, a yogi can do similar, because a yogi puts themselves in a position in which they can have the liberty, or the license, to mock the collapse of the rest of the world. And so that's why very often the recluse yogis have traditionally turned their back on civilization, saying, "Oh, it's so fucked up. We don't care. All we care about is ourselves." And the only way to go about it is not to struggle and strive with people over money and property, but to just improve our consciousness, because it's so much simpler. Doesn't mean it's easy, doesn't mean it's quick, but it's so much simpler because it only involves the self. And pretty much, well, yeah.